Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin in Norwich tonight. A community is rallying around a family who lost their 7-year-old girl in a house fire. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Sarah Sanchez. Norwich Fire Chief said it was a nightmare call to receive. A call came into 911 last night saying a little girl was trapped inside a house on fire. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot spoke with the neighbors.
The Norwich community is coming together to help a family in need after an unspeakable tragedy claimed the life of a 7-year-old.
We heard the second scream and like glass breaking. We looked over and we saw the smoke coming from all the way down there. And we were like, oh, is that a fire? So we were first ones to run down here.
That's when Joshua Andrews says he took immediate action. He and another person were able to break a window of the burning Summit Street home and jump in to try and help.
It's dark, the smoke's everywhere. The only reason I found her, I tripped over her. And she was laying in the kitchen, like by the window, because my uncle said that he saw her banging on the window.
Norwich officials got several 911 calls about the fire Tuesday night.
So we got a call, numerous calls, reporting a large structure fire at the house. A couple of people called and said that there was a child trapped inside.
I only made it to the back door. I almost passed out myself. And by that time, firefighters actually did show up, and they managed to get us both out. But I just tried to do as much as I could.
She was transported in critical condition and unfortunately has since passed.
Since news of the tragedy, the community is stepping up in a big way to support the family.
You know, if we can get clothing items, personal items, stuff for the kids, to try to give them some sense of normalcy back, that's something that, we as a community, would like to do for the family.
And the overall message of love and support in a time of tragedy is what neighbors say truly matters.
Some people felt like they couldn't help out in the moment, but they're trying to do as much as they can now. And, that's really that matters, is that you try.
Clothing items like coats, shoes, tops, and bottoms are needed for the family and can be dropped off at the Board of Education building and the police station. For more details on drop-off times, visit our website at fox61.com. In Norwich, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, for the latest on this developing story, you can scan the QR code there to download our free Fox 61 News app. You'll get the latest news updates as soon as we learn them. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. Rachel, we hear it's going to be cold in the morning. How cold?
We're talking about temperatures starting off right around 30 degrees, so near or below freezing for many towns across the state, with a freeze warning in effect from midnight until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So what does this mean? It means it's cold enough that it could damage some of those late season plants. If you still want to protect them, you can bring potted plants inside, or you can try covering them with a light blanket, but make sure that you're harvesting anything. If you've got a leftover tomato, any veggies or fruits, make sure you're plucking those and getting them off, because again, this cold will do damage to them. Here's a look at those overnight lows. So near or below freezing for Putnam, Wyndham, Norwich, Meriden, Waterbury heading into daybreak tomorrow. In the city of Hartford, likely staying a little bit warmer. And the same is true for the shoreline. I mean, warmer is not maybe the best word. We'll say less cold, but it'll still be frosty even down towards the Connecticut shoreline, even if temperatures won't drop below freezing there. Here's a look at current temperatures. We're already in the upper 30s in Torrington, 40s for much of the rest of the state. And after a frosty start to the day tomorrow, it's a pleasant finish. We rebound up near 60 degrees as we head through the afternoon, with lots of sunshine, upper 50s in Griswold and also for Montville, and highs around 60 degrees in Cheshire as we head through the afternoon tomorrow. This is the coolest day on the 7-day forecast, though, so the chill not going to last very much longer. We'll talk about the big warming trend ahead coming up. Sarah.
Rachel, it's been nearly 2 months since historic flooding in western Connecticut. You remember the stories of widespread flooding, homes destroyed, roads were wiped out. Well, there are state and federal resources to get people back on their feet, and it'll be a long road for people to get fully back on their feet. Fox 61's Kaylee Collins was at an informational meeting in Seymour tonight. She wanted to learn more about what kind of flooding assistance home and business owners can now access.
Well, there's still plenty of funding available through FEMA, though the funding through the Small Business Administration has currently been exhausted due to Hurricane Milton. Impacted families say they would have appreciated a little bit more transparency from both FEMA and the SBA when it comes to applying for both loans and grants. That's why they were happy to come to this meeting and get a little bit of clarification. Seymour residents are getting an update on the resources available to them nearly 2 months since destructive flooding struck the area.
What's happening here in our valley and really across this region of Connecticut is neighbor helping neighbor.
Representatives from state and federal agencies, including FEMA and the Small Business Administration, recapped the assistance currently being offered in a meeting held at Seymour Middle School. This includes grant funding of up to $42,500 through FEMA and loan assistance through the Small Business Administration.
You can't get any assistance from either FEMA or SBA if you don't register with FEMA. Homeowners can register. Once they register, they can expect that an inspector will call them.
It's really important that folks know that the SBA comes in alongside FEMA for both homeowners and small businesses.
So far, over $7 million in FEMA grants have been dispersed to over 2,000 people. Meanwhile, funding through the SBA has been exhausted until Congress reconvenes to allocate more. Flood victims like Emily Brish, whose home was entirely destroyed, say there's been some confusion over which assistance has been given as a grant versus a loan.
The only issue that we've run into is that our SBA loan has a clause where we need to pay back part of our FEMA funds with our loan, which carries interest. It should be transparent on their website if that's how it works. I've talked to multiple people. I've talked to people here, and nobody can quite answer my question of why it's happening the way it's happening.
Despite the struggle, Brish urges others with any kind of damage to simply apply.
Even if you don't think that you're going to get any benefit from FEMA, even if you had insurance, still apply because you never know.
Now again, anybody in need does have to be registered through FEMA to even begin the application process. The last date to do so is November 19th. We'll have more information on all of that at fox61.com. Reporting in Seymour, Kaylee Collins, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Kaylee. In Mystic, the community's mourning a teen who died in a car crash. Tonight, 3 other kids are still recovering. 14-year-old Carson Wilson passed away Monday night. The crash happened early Monday morning on Fishtown Road. The 4 teens were riding in a Toyota 4Runner before veering off the road and hit a tree. One of the teens' iPhones detected the crash, and it alerted police. Police are still looking into why the driver crashed. Well, police in Hartford say a city councilman laundered money through the church where he was once a pastor, and tonight we've learned he turned himself into police. Alexander Thomas is now facing charges. Digital records show he was an associate pastor and youth leader at South Church in Hartford. Investigators say he misused the church credit card to direct funds to a shell company, then to his personal accounts for about a year. Thomas is being held on $250,000 bond. The state's reporting its first flu deaths of the season, and one of them was a 2-month-old baby. Lawmakers rolled up their sleeves to encourage others to do the same.
Please get your flu shot, your COVID shot. It's going to protect not only you, but those little kids, those newborns in your family. If you're a grandparent and you've got a new 2-month-old or 3-month-old, that's the last kind of news you want in your family, like I'm sharing today.
The second flu death was a person in their 90s. State officials stress COVID-19 has not gone away. There are 15 to 20 COVID-related deaths reported every week. That was in September. The New Haven School District's taking a stand on cell phone usage in classrooms, and today city and district leaders announced by 2025 students will be required to lock up their smartphones while they're in class. It's not new to the state of Connecticut, but New Haven will be the largest district in our state to start using these cell phone lock pouches district-wide. Before the new school year, the district will give parents and students a chance to let them know how they feel about the new policy. American parents have grown more concerned about the impacts social media and cell phone usage has had on their children. The U.S. Surgeon General said this year there's a mental health crisis among American youth, and social media could be to blame. He even said it should come with warning labels, like something you'd see on a pack of cigarettes.
When I was in high school, we had a smoking lounge. Can you believe that? I mean,
students' faces.
Right. Can you believe that? It's shocking to even think about that.
New Haven Mayor Justin Elliker said one day it will be just as unbelievable that cell phones were permitted in classrooms.
Smoking is bad for your health, and the reality is that there's a lot of evidence that increasingly shows that cell phones are bad for your health.
So the New Haven School District will be mandating yonder pouches at elementary and middle schools come January 2025, then high schools by September 2025.
Students are more likely to concentrate on their lessons and engage fully in their classroom activities. And that is what we're looking for. High engagement from all of our students.
At Barnard Environmental Science and Technology School, middle school students are already locking up their phones each and every day.
It came out of nowhere at first, but then throughout my 8th grade year this year, it made me understand I don't need my phone for everything. I can focus on school.
School officials showed how they work. Students are assigned a pouch required to lock up their phone at the beginning of the day. The keys to unlock them are at the door or at the front office. Cell phone policies like this are thought to take the burden off teachers to be the bad guy.
If you try to take them away, you got into the power struggle with them, because if you're physically taking away from them, some of them are addicted and some of them just couldn't handle that.
A major argument against taking phones away has always been, but what about in an emergency?
If there's an extreme emergency, a lockdown, we can cut open the pouches. The teachers have access to open the pouches.
The pilot program at Barnard has let educators iron out some issues, like how to address situations when students might need to contact their families.
The access is still there, but what we're saying is let's protect the time. The children are supposed to be here so that they can truly, fully engage in their learning.
We should have those pouches here at Fox 61. Sometimes our phones are a bit distracting.